All right. Hi, everyone. This is Ameen from Falcon Notes. Today, we're going to go over the Step 2 CK Study Tracker from Falcon Notes and how you can use it to optimize your studying. So jumping right in, why use Notion for Step 2 studying? So number one, Step 2 is very overwhelming, obviously, especially getting through clerkships. You start to forget a lot of the information you learn. So having something to track along your studying is something that's really advantageous. And as the old adage goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So traditionally, med students, we use different tools like pen and paper planners or maybe Excel sheets to plan and organize their studying. But we think that Notion gives you the structuredness of Excel sheets, but at the same time, the customizability of something like OneNote or Evernote. And that kind of combination and the ability to use a pre-made template is what makes Notion really kind of efficient and effective for planning something like Step 2 study. So how does our template work? So number one, you're going to go to our website. You're going to go on the Step 2 CK page. You're going to go to the bottom and you're going to duplicate the template. And once you've duplicated the template, it'll show up in your own Notion page. And so you're going to duplicate like that. There we go. Okay, so once I've duplicated, as you can see at the top, we have our template, and right over here is our tutorial, basically kind of going through what we're going to go through in this video and how to actually use this template. But really at the top of the page, you'll see the most important database, which is the master Step 2 schedule. And this will kind of be like the master database or table that will help organize everything and put everything in place. So jumping right in, how do you use this database, right? So we kind of help you break apart your schedule into dedicated review periods. So for example, you have an OBGYN review period, you have a neuro review period, and then you have the practice exams throughout your dedicated period, right? So this table will basically kind of help you organize that. And you can also see it in a calendar view. So if I go ahead and view it in this calendar view, I can actually see where it's laid out, and you can actually drag and drop as you wish right here. It kind of just makes it easier to get a quick peek and also move things around as you like. So going back to the table view, you'll see very quickly that each review period is going to be linked to a subject. And for those of you who are already familiar with Notion, you'll know that anytime you see this arrow at the top of a column, that means that this database is linked to another database. So right here, you'll see this is linked to the database on Step 2 CK subjects. This is linked to another database on practice exams. And this one is linked to extra resources. So let's say I'm in the OBGYN review period, right? I just started my dedicated and it's day one. What do? So it's OBGYN. I open it up, and this is kind of my landing page for that dedicated review period. For the 17th of June until the 21st, this is going to kind of be like my home page to cover all the things that I need to for OBGYN. So you can even go ahead and put an individual schedule. If you really like, you can put, for example, on the 17th, I'm going to start off with Anki reviews and do a UWorld general block and then get all of these things done. And you can really kind of even plan out every day from within that OBGYN review period if you like. You can also just put other notes about random things that you want to keep track of during the review periods. For example, how many questions you need to get through, how many Anki cards you need to get through. And then as you'll see, like we said, this is going to be linked to the subject table. So what is the subjects database? The Step 2 subjects database, as you move down, you're going to see right here. This is going to break down all of the material on Step 2 CK into different subjects, right? So number one, for example, we have cardiology. So what we did is we actually go through cardiology and we actually broke it down into these toggle lists. And these are organized by Amboss articles because that's what most med students are using nowadays. So we broke up cardiology into these different subcategories. So let's say you're doing your medicine review and you have some sort of note that you want to keep in mind for heart failure. Treat heart failure, acute heart failure with Lasix. You can put that there. Let's say you put you find a really nice image from Amboss for heart failure, what you can do is you can copy this image and you can go ahead and you can put this image right here in Notion. So this is kind of, and this is a toggle list. So this is something that you can kind of help to organize your notes. So this will be your landing page for cardiology, right? And like we said, and we're going to keep coming back to this again and again, everything here is going to be linked to a place on your schedule. So if you notice, all of the medicine subjects are going to be related to the medicine review period on your master step 2 schedule. So everything, that's the advantage of Notion, is that everything is linked to each other and it just makes everything more streamlined and easier to use. Moving on, we have this database called the Topics Needing Work database. And essentially what this is, when I was studying, I realized randomly while doing questions or coming across material that there was a subject that I completely forgot about or I need to review at some point. So whenever that pops into mind, I'm doing something and I remember, I remember nothing about HPV screening. So right here, I'm going to put HPV screening as a topic that needs work. And then for the subject, this is going to be pulled straight from the subjects database. So I'm going to put OBGYN, right? So now eventually I get around to actually reviewing this. Let's say my notes for HPV screening needs to be done at 21 years old. I find another image that I really like about HPV screening. I've reviewed this. Once I've reviewed this, I click check mark, and automatically we've programmed it and formatted it so that once you check it off, it goes straight into this reviewed table. So as you can see, it showed up right here. So this is just an easy way to track along all the topics that you're forgetting or you need to remind yourself to go back and review. Moving on to the next database, this is the practice exams database. And what this will be is, let's say I took an NBME exam. When I open this, what you can do is we've actually given you a sort of a template for you to kind of organize your test review, right? So you can go through, put how many questions you got in each block wrong. You can put the reason for all your incorrects, what subjects they were from, what was the reason that you got the question wrong. And at the end of it, you can kind of organize, what are the areas of weakness that you need to cover. And then even the screenshots from the actual NBME score assessment, you can actually put in this page if you want to look at later on to see how you're tracking along in your progress. You can put your score on how you performed on each one, and then you can also put your target score for each one of your exams. And then the last thing I'll say about this database is that for your step 2, your actual test day, what we've done is we've actually put in we've put a little plan, a template for you to kind of plan out your actual test day. So when are you going to arrive? What are you going to have for breakfast? What's going to be in your bag? When are your breaks going to be? What's the timing that you want to do for your breaks? And then all of this, as we said, once again, is going to be linked back to the master schedule. So as you can see right here, practice exam 1 is linked to Amboss self-assessment. Moving on to the extra resources database. So the idea of this one is that this is just some resources that you want to cover at some point. And what you can do is you can link it to a specific review period on your database. So for example, the Divine Intervention Pulmonary High Yield Review, if you want to review that during your medicine review, you just, all of these are pulled from your master schedule. So this is going to be linked directly to your medicine review. Where's medicine? Medicine review. So as you can see, Divine Intervention Pulmonary High Yield Review is going to show up right there. So this is just stuff that, you can add to this, you can remove from this as well. The last section we have here is just miscellaneous notes. If there's some guides that you found online, some YouTube videos that you find online from On King that you want to have quickly for reference on your actual step 2 Notion page, you can keep that here. And feel free to customize however you like. So with that said, that's a brief overview of how the page works. Keep in mind that all of the parts with this yellow text and the yellow key emoji is supposed to denote basically a tutorial. So I put a tutorial for every database right above the database. Once you're done kind of figuring out how this database works, you feel free to delete this and just get rid of it if you don't really need it anymore. And then you can go ahead and delete the tutorial if you like. And all the placeholder information that I put, for example, all the topics needing work, these were for me. So obviously you can replace them with whatever you need. I just put these for you as an example for things that, for kind of how you can organize it. And then same thing with the practice exams, you can kind of fill it in with your target scores, your target score for your actual step 2 exam, the scores that you're scoring on your exams. And then, start filling in the resources that you want to use and just go from there. Again, Notion is supposed to make your life easier. It's supposed to streamline everything. It's not supposed to overwhelm you. It's not supposed to make you put in more time into this than your actual studying. And that's why we've made this template for you, is that we want to save you time and make your time studying more efficient and put to better use, essentially. So feel free to use as much of it or as little of it as you like, and customize as you please. With that said, that wraps up this video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us through the Falcon Notes website. There will also be a page for any feedback that you have, and to actually get the link to duplicate this onto your Notion page, there'll be a link in the description below. Feel free to click on that link. It's completely free, and let us know how you like it. So thank you, and wish you the best of luck on your Step 2 studying.